Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime Marketing. My name is Kevin Britz and my wonderful, crazy, older now, week later, co-host, Björn Salsone. Björn, how are you?
Cheers. Hello, good afternoon. I'm so excited to be here. And on that older note, cheers.
Cheers. Björn, tell us how is Cape Town treating you? Because you've now decided to, just stay there for a while.
Don't be jealous. And Kevin,
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. That's the problem.
Yeah, I can hear it. Kevin, Cape Town is absolutely Cape Town. And it's really exciting just because there's so much new developments and I'm catching up with clients, business colleagues, friends. I'm having a blast. I am maximizing the time of business and pleasure. I have not worked harder. I thought I worked harder in Joburg. I am working harder to a point that, like, before the show, I literally sat down and was like, I'm having a 5-minute power nap.
Yes.
But it's exciting and it's great. And I would rather be busy and having fun than being quiet and being bored, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So joining us today, we have the amazing Anita Jack from Elevate Horizons. Anita, welcome to Lifestyle Marketing.
Hi, so nice to be here. Really, really excited.
Thank you for joining
us. To the chat. Thanks.
So Anita, we want to do jump online with people that we know. We are coming to the end of the year, but essentially part of this conversation is we're in December. We're here now, and things have been quite troubling for so many people. But don't you want to sort of introduce who you are, what it is you do? Because I think that links well to why we need to look after ourselves.
Sure. Well, my name is Anita Jack, and I am a kinesiologist and clarity coach. So I help people overcome challenges, looking at physical, emotional, mental, and also energetic self. So when it comes to wellness, is people often, or I myself even did that a long time ago, and I'm still recovering from that, is that we neglect ourselves and we give so much to so many and we forget about ourselves. And that classic saying, if you don't fill your cup's empty, you can't help others. And that's what I really help my clients to fill their own cup and also to stand on their own ground so that they can be the person that they need to be to serve or to do whatever to live their life that they want. I personally gone through a really bad health issues, and it's through that journey of me trying to get myself better that I actually transitioned from a marketing specialist into actually being a therapist and coach.
Don't you want to share, I mean, you don't have to get the details, but don't you want to just share that story? And I think, it's so important because I think your story is quite significant on how you've done it and how that has impacted your life.
Sure. So I was 15 years, I worked in different companies for marketing. I'm one of those get bored very quickly people. So I was that person who changed job every average 2.5 years because I get bored and I'm like, well, I've done everything I can in this space. I want to go and learn and do something new now. So I was for 15 years just going from different companies. So from manufacturing to retail to media, and eventually I was at a financial services company. And I would say that I really love marketing. That's, I thought I was good at it. And I worked and worked and worked and I give and give and give. And my job became my life. That was like the only thing that I did 24/7. My laptop's on, my cell phone's always on. And it actually got me so sick because I had multiple burnout along the way, but I didn't know. I just, I get up and I carry on going, right? That's what we do. That's what we all do. We just next deadline to meet and we carry on and carry on. Exactly. And eventually, one day, my body just go, not again. And I eventually actually had to quit my job. And I've never done that in my life before, where I quit and there was no backup plan whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I left, I literally left. I was so miserable. that I was feeling so unwell, and I went to so many doctors, so many specialists, you name it, I tried it, and it just didn't help me. And then I was like a walking pill box, literally just popping pills every day. It got to a point where if I look at a pill, I gag because it was horrible. And I was still in depression. I couldn't get out of bed. Eventually, I just go, well, throw all of that pill away. If I die tomorrow, then so be it, because I can't live like that anymore. And I started mixing more with other types of wellness professionals, and homeopath and more natural way of doing things, because the first way didn't work for me. And I thought, well, let me try something else. And eventually, actually, I was speaking to a natural fertility specialist who I met through pole dancing classes, of all places. And she actually said to me, why don't you try a kinesiologist? And I was like, what's that? No idea what that was. And she said, well, I don't know either, but every time that I work with couples and I've done everything physically possible to help them, and something still doesn't work, and they're still not falling pregnant, I send them to the kinesiologist, and somehow they come back, they either realize that they don't want to have kids anymore, actually don't want to have kids, or that they fall pregnant. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going, I need some help, I'm desperate, I will try anything. And that's what I did. It completely changed my life. I realized that at the age of 11, I actually had a conversation with my mom, which didn't go down too well. My mom had no recollection of it. All I remember from that conversation was that I was useless. There's actually a Chinese saying that say, I would have rather given birth to a piece of roast pork than to you. And that's what she said to me. Well, that's what I remembered, okay? And that sort of set me up with a whole lot of other references. And all of this I found out in kinesiology. And I realized that I was working myself to a standstill, to complete breakdown, because I feel that I can't say no. That means I'm incapable. I'm not useless, so I will do whatever it takes, give 200% if I need to. If you give me something, I will never say no to it, because it means that I can't do it and I can do anything. So that's how I found out. And that's why I had, worked that way. And, yes, I can be successful in anything I do, but at what cost? And that's exactly what happened. And I believe that if I didn't find that out and worked with that, even now that in my own business, I would have repeated the same pattern, would have worked myself to standstill, bend over backward for everybody, supplier, clients, you name it, and I will still be sick.
And so that's essentially what you did. You literally, you went through something that severe, and you eventually found a way to heal yourself and heal from all the trauma.
Yeah, I mean, that's from that journey, I was like, I need to study this. It's so fascinating. And that's what I did. And I thought I was going to study that to help me, just to fix me. It just was all about me. And through just studying and doing practical hours and case study, I was so amazed by the result that my guinea pigs that I was helping while I was trying to finish the course. I mean, they were amazing changes. And I just thought, well, this is so much more fulfilling than anything I've ever done in my life. And I'm so inspired by the changes and the transformation that the people and friends that I was, that I just literally changed career.
Wow. And you said, so, in terms of that transition, I mean, we're hearing your story and we're hearing that you kind of made that change, but from just a practical point, would you say the aha moment was when you had that conversation with the lady who said, go see the kinesiologist? Was that your aha moment, or was it going to see the kinesiologist, having the breakthrough, and then that was the aha moment? Because often the two, it can be a mix of the two, or either or, and it is important where it lands, because there's a bigger impact about the next decision. What was that for you?
For me, the aha moment was really in the session with the kinesiologist, when I found out what drove me to the behavior that I had. Because often we see the behavior, but we don't try to understand why we're doing it. So if we don't get to the bottom of why we're doing something, we can't really change it. You can put a lot of not cons, but it's really a lot of effort to trying to consciously change something when something subconsciously is holding you back, because that means there's a conflict. And that's where it landed for me. But I'd say that I was very proud of myself to go and try something new. And because also if I wasn't open to just go for it, I would have never found that out. And
look at you now.
That's and the whole change of profession and all of that. So if I didn't say yes to that, because usually I'm that person, go tell me exactly what happens in this session. What goes on.
Give me all the details, everything.
Right? I need to know before I walk into that room. But I just, that day I was just like, I'll go for it. Don't have to explain. Let me just go for it.
So basically what you're saying is we should end the show right now. If you've got a problem, put your details at the bottom and then just go see Anita. It's like, that's kind of how
no
it works.
objection to that. Totally okay with that.
Great having a conversation. Thanks, Anita.
That was what they call short but sweet. Like that. Anyone who's listening, just go and see Anita. These are her contact details. And life will continue.
So one of the questions, Anita, is we are all business owners, and in terms of finding that resilience and really stepping up in your business, what are some of the things that you've really taken action to and started changing? Was it a brain shift? Was it I need to start doing this thing? Having that resilience, going through something like this that you mentioned now, and coming out the other side and going, or COVID suddenly happens, as businesses, we question it just like every other person out there. We all have those questions of going, I don't know what to do next. What are some of those things as a business owner that you sort of started tackling and started making a difference to get through this year, and maybe some lessons you've really learned?
Okay. I love the saying, there's also a Chinese proverb about life is like a flowing river. So, and we are like the boat going upstream. And if you don't keep moving forward or keep paddling, you are going to go backwards. So there's no stationary. And for me, it's one of the biggest things. It's don't sit around and wait for better days, or wait for something to change, or wait for things to get back to normal, whatever that may be, because there's no such thing as normal. What is that? So, it's not about sitting still and waiting for things to change. It's how can you adapt? How can you change your business so that you can still serve your target market? Absolutely. And that for me is the biggest thing. Those businesses who sat around and wait for things to go back to normal is probably not around anymore.
So Björn, I've got the same question to you. So, what have you seen that's business lessons? If you kind of go, damn, yeah, this is something I need to do. There's something I need to start acting. Like, what have you done?
Cool. So, one of the things that I would say, which is a meme, is at the beginning of lockdown, kind of before the 26th of March, I saw a meme that said, what are you going to say that you achieved at the end of lockdown? And I kind of sat there going, and it was kind of an instant intuitive two things I knew. One, I was going to make sure that I had a business, that I transitioned online, that I had to do what I had to do. One of the things we redid the website. I mean, it's live. I don't know if you had a look. www.tnc-marketing.PR. And it's taken me months, as you know, because I'm so pedantic about, in that context, the little details, and I wanted it right, and we're employing new staff, and da-da-da-da-da. And the other thing that I said was I committed to health. So the thing that I learned was the goal doesn't change, but the operational plan changes. So the goal was to have a business. The goal was to get healthy. And how did I get healthy? I mean, that's why I started mountain biking. Like I've told you about this. I'm still waiting for you to go mountain biking. That's a hint. Right, to come to Cape Town, because I was like, someone will mountain bike me. Because I've asked Anita, and Anita was like, I don't really ride. And so I've asked you, and you said yes. And anyway, I'm digressing. the plan for me was always the same goal, was to have a business, was to keep going, but operationally I had to learn to change. And that's one of the reasons why we redid the website. And I really emphasize this, that with all things being equal, you really have to get your head around, oh, I'm scared of technology. Oh, this, I don't like it. Suck it up, Cupcake. I had guys say to me, I gave him a call and I was touching base and he said, oh no, Björn, we're not doing anything for our business. We'll wait till lockdown's done. And I said, sorry? He said, no, we're waiting till it's all over and we're back to normal. Yeah. And I said, let's call him Mr. Smith for the sake of the exercise. I said, Mr. Smith, I don't know if you're going to have a business at the end of that, because I don't believe we're ever going to have it as it was. So yeah, so that's kind of the stuff that I learned. And I'm going to turn the question on its head, Kevin, for you. Yeah. What have you learned? What's been your aha moment that you've kind of can share?
Yeah, I think it's been a completely different take on how because you say, you know, the goal didn't change. For me, the goal completely changed. And then instinctively, when I heard in the beginning of the year that people are in a panic state and they don't know what to do and where to go from here, I immediately was like, what the hell can we do to add value? And like we mentioned this before, but starting the Lunchtime series and now, you know, with these happening all the time, in aim of wanting to add value, and that's really what we've done. Invariably, what that has sidelined to that is a tremendous amount of marketing and a tremendous amount of growth internationally. So the call for me was, how do I really add value at this time? Because so many people need help. And suddenly, because that was the sort of starting point for me, everything else started changing in a big way, which was really, really cool. And because I also went from in-person training, doing a lot of in-person training, to kind of going, okay, well, I do everything online now. And even when people ask me to do meetings, I'm like, no, like this is not an in-person meeting. There's COVID. I'm like, I don't do anything in person.
Yeah. So, Kevin, hold on. Can I stop you? Because I want to say to you, it sounds like your goal was the same. Your goal was to always add value, but operationally you had to change. So
no, I mean, potentially, maybe the wording then has changed slightly, but you know, from I think what COVID has really done, and I'm sure you guys will agree, is that it's really brought the attention of like, what the hell am I doing and why am I doing it? Like, if I'm not here to really add value, then why am I doing it? And that's the question I have for myself. Like, and Anita, I want to ask you, so part of this ongoing kind of get up and go momentum that we invariably have as entrepreneurs and business owners, what inspires you? How do you get up and do this?
Oh, my question, I was just saying.
For me, it's just seeing the transformation of how people actually get up and change their own life. Because I, as a kinesiologist, I'm just empowering the person to actually live their best life. I'm not healing them, because that's the misconception. A lot of people think I go to a therapist, a practitioner, and they will sort me out. It doesn't work that way. We are there to facilitate it. But at the end of the day, the person needs to do their own healing. And the best analogy is, if let's say you hurt yourself and you scrape some skin off and there's a bit of a wound, you will, clean it up and maybe put some ointments on it, put a plaster over it. But does any of those things heal your wound? No. You yourself, your body still need to make sure that heals it. The cleaning, the covering up, the ointment just create that environment for it to heal. So that's exactly what happens. And so for me, it's about empowering people. And that's what inspires me, that I see, I see a client after 1 or 2 or however many sessions that they come for, they walk out and their lives change. Or the one time, it's quite a funny example. I had a lady who from a very traditional culture where you just don't talk back to the elderlies, you know. So you need to be respectful, and you never talk back. So you can never say what you really want to say, because that's rude. And then she was, you know, married to high school sweethearts. Kind of, they grew up together. So the mother-in-law still see her as the kid, you know, that dated her son, kind of thing. So she, even though now she's a grown woman with her own business, thriving, she just doesn't get the respect from the family, because they knew her from she was 15. Yeah. And she never gets to say anything. So whenever she's with the family, she's one person. And then whenever she's in her own business, she's a different person, or she's herself. So, and it was really creating a lot of stress for her. And she came to see me, and it was on a Friday. On Monday, I get this phone call and said, Anita, what did you do to me? I'm like, well, what do you mean? What happened?
Like, sorry, not sorry.
I'm like, okay, well, elaborate what's happened on the weekend. She goes, I couldn't shut up. I told everyone what I thought of them. And yeah, it's a bit stressful between me and my husband. So I'm like, okay, so how do you feel about that, being able to express how you feel after all these years? She goes, it's fantastic, but yes, it's a bit stressful right now. But I couldn't believe that I said all the stuff I said. And she said it was liberating that she's now able to say what she needed to say, not coming from being a rude point of view, and she couldn't be bothered what other people thought of her. And she just said, I just needed to get it off my chest, so that, you know, however they want to take it, then it's up to them. From a Friday to a Monday, I was like, okay, well done. You carry on, you go, girl.
Anita, probably that's like the moment that, you know, Kevin and I and you shared offline before we started the show, when Kevin was talking about some of the stuff that he's done and some of the positive feedback that he's got from his, is going, thank you. It's that I think it's an inbuilt thing, because I have the same. It's not that I have to be told well done. It's just I hear someone's had their lives transformed, that they're living a happier, healthier whole life, that I'm like, yes, that's like my thing. You know,
totally.
Because all you did was you gave them the tools. They did the work. You went, okay, here we go. This is a great toolbox. I really recommend you use it. Great options. Put all the best stuff in here. And is it amazing? There'll be, and I always say this, there'll be a percentage of people that will flourish, and like you literally go back going, please can I get a testimonial? And there's others you think, were you there on the day? Were we all in the same room? Were you sick that day? Like what was not happening? Because like story of my life, chalk and cheese. I never, it's like it should be wine and cheese, but sometimes it's like chalk and cheese.
Well, at the end of the day, it's still the person's choice. We're facilitating, we're helping, we're showing, we're guiding. But what the person does with it is still up to them. Yeah. You know, I can help them identify what's been keeping them stuck, and help them put in new references so that they can refer to it. But at the end of the day, they still need to use that new reference. They still need to choose to do the work.
Absolutely. Anita, I want to just talk about something practical, because people might be wondering, like, as a kinesiologist, like, can they do a session online? I mean, I can talk from a point of personal experience. I was very impressed with that, by the way. I did not know that that's possible. But can you just kind of share with people, like people might go, but surely she needs to see you because you're doing muscle testing and can you kind of just share that experience of, because I know that you have to do prep work. Like there isn't people don't realize there's kind of prep work before. It's not just like, oh, hello, lovely to see you. Oh, what's your problem? And kind of go from there. Just kind of share with us the process, that'd be great.
Okay, so yes, you can do a kinesiology session online. And I actually, when I started off as a kinesiologist, I wasn't comfortable with that because I'm that very left brain. I need to understand how exactly this worked. And I couldn't get my head around it until I actually helped someone in America who weren't able to get access to any specialized kinesiologists where she was. And she was so stuck with not being able to move. She went paralyzed, just woke up one day and just couldn't, hip down, couldn't move. And I tried to find her a kinesiologist in her area, and there wasn't any that we could get hold of. So I was like, okay, well, there's not other choices. Let me try and help you. And I did a session for her, and within an hour after the session, her toes started tingling. And she started responding to the physio that they were doing. So before, she wasn't responding. So it's really complimentary from the, I only ever had one session with her. And 3 years ago, when I went to America, I actually met up with her. And
What?
yeah, she was like, it was amazing. It was like literally an hour later, she felt her toes tingly. And she hasn't
that means
felt that for 3
call
years.
you doctor, Anita. Is that now the level of how it works? I'm like, hello, Dr. Anita. Lovely to see you, Dr. Anita. Dr. Anita, would you like a cup of coffee?
Yeah, well, no, but
oh, she's like, thinking about it, a condition that you pay me every time you say that.
So,
I'm upping my fee. I'm a doctor now. No, but it's
Sorry, Anita, but one of the questions is, how does one overcome the fear of having to face what will come out in the session? So I can imagine, some people have been through some really traumatic stuff, and when you're in that session, you kind of go, okay, well, maybe it's something I don't really want to acknowledge. How do you handle that? And like, how do we deal with that fear? Because that could possibly be the one thing that really determines whether I'm going to go or not to one of these sessions. Right?
Okay, so I always say that a person when they are ready, they will be in my rooms. So until that time, they wouldn't have met me or been referred to me or come across me. I really do trust and believe that. So everyone that crossed my path is because they actually innately know that they are ready for it. Whether they consciously know they're ready or not sure, but their being know that they are ready to make changes now. And sad to say, often that is when someone hit really, really rock bottom.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, it was like half dying before I realized I need to do something about my life and, need to do something different. And sadly, that is for most people. It needs to be so bad that they will go, I need to change. I can't live like this anymore. And that's usually when people are okay, they're ready to face whatever they need to face so that they can change their life.
Yeah.
And that's why when people refer to me, I always say to them, thank you for the referral. Can you please ask that person to phone me? They need to initiate the conversation purely because that means that they're taking the first step. They're ready to do something about their life. Because if they can't even phone me, then they're not ready for it. There's no point in getting them into the room. They might try one session and then that's exactly what happens. They'll have that, because that's my experience. That's why now I say, please tell the person to phone me. And because the people that don't, and I initiated the conversation, they all come for the first session and I'll never see them again, because the stuff that comes up is so overwhelming that they go, I rather not know and not deal with that. Let me just run. I've boxed that memory far back, sealed, never want to look at it again.
And essentially that initial connection that you're having with someone is, you've got to build a bit of rapport. You've got to be able to know that you can trust this person and or that they're in your hands, and you build that kind of safety for them. I mean, that's essential, especially when you're having to deal with stuff like that. But I think, as you say, people deal with stuff when they're ready to deal with it, and sometimes it's overwhelming. But they'll show up when they need to.
Yep, definitely.
Then we have another question. You want to ask that question for us?
Yes, absolutely. Anita, are there any kinds of people who don't come to see you because they feel kinesiology is not a real medical intervention? Do you have any stories that you wish to share?
Okay, yes. So I do come across that every now and then, and especially people that say, but I'm a certain religion. I get that a lot. You know, I'm Christian, or I'm Muslim, or I'm whatever it is that the religion they are, and they go, I'm that, so I can't come and see you. So kinesiology is not, it's got nothing to do with religion. It's actually the first, it was developed by a chiropractor in America. That's one of the branches. So there's so many different branches. There's the physical part that's called Touch for Health. I mean, there are a lot of different types of kinesiology. So that are developed by doctors and psychologists, and it's that collective understanding. And they just realized what they were doing wasn't getting the results that they want, and they want to add other stuff and combine it and make it even more effective. And that's how a lot of it came about. So there are educational psychologists that develop their educational kinesiology. There's physical stuff, there's emotional kinesiologies, there's neurotraining that deals with mental stuff. So it's really quite based on science. It's just we are conditioned, science needs to look a certain way. And if it doesn't look that way, it's not scientific. And it's another thing, like people always say, oh, you're in alternative medicine. I'm like, what's alternative about it? It's been around. Most of the holistic wellness modality's been around for thousands of years. So who's the alternative?
Exactly, yeah.
We are all complementary. We are all there to help the person. Some people respond better, you know, to one type, and some people respond, like I didn't respond to conventional medicine at all. I only responded, and some people do a combination. It's really up to the person. I always say, as a practitioner, I'm there to serve my clients. So let's see what's best for them, not what I can offer them. So I often also refer people to other people. And it's about what is the best for this person that's in my room, not what's the best way I can help them.
I'm so glad that you mentioned it, because I think as a module of healing, there's so many ways that you can describe it, but as for what it is, I think people really need to talk about it, and people need to consider that there are absolutely more options available in the world than popping pills and just the usual kind of approach to, there's Reiki, there's NLP, there's healing, meditation, there's hypnosis. There's so many options available. But I think people really need to consider that there's so much in our lives. Yeah, exactly. There's so much in our lives that we could consider that could actually heal us.
Yes.
And it's a good conversation to be had. So one of the things that we want to know, since we are at the end of the year, what is happening in your world? Anything special coming up? Any developments? Anything new? Anything you can share with us? Okay,
so for the rest of the year, I'm just doing fun stuff, because I own a boutique for the studio. So for the rest of the year, this year, I decided I'm just going to do fun things. So like Saturday, I'm having an aerial hoop workshop. I've never done it myself. In the circuit, have you ever seen in the circuit, they have those aerial acts. So they've got like a hoop, a big hoop that they do acrobatic acts on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was part of the circus, but that'd be lying. I felt like it as a kid.
So I'm hosting a workshop. It's already fully booked, but it's fun things like that I'm doing for the rest of the year. And from February on, I'm busy putting together my workshop schedule. And so there's going to be, you can look out for workshops and also retreats towards the end of the year around November. So
where would we find that information, Anita?
So you can go to my website and subscribe to my newsletter, and you will be getting info and updates on those when they are open for booking. So
the retreats, what happens at the retreats? Because I remember having this chat with you once, and it's quite nice. Tell us about that.
Oh, okay. So what I'm planning for the end of the year retreats is going to be a combination of obviously personal development and wellness aspects, and there's going to be lots of fun. It's the vibe is getting out of your comfort zone, there's adventure and there's lots of good food. So basically the kind of stuff I like, you know, jumping out of airplane and doing something crazy and having lots of good food while we're working on ourselves.
That's
and it's about finding, it's about finding clarity in your life. It's really for those people who, well, it's actually a female based. So sorry, gentlemen, it will be for ladies only. Yeah,
That's
sorry for you.
No,
but I'll
Kevin,
plan one for gents by the sound of it.
Sorry, where's the end button? Looking, can't find.
Yeah, where is this?
So the first one would be for. So the first one will be for ladies who are at that time of life where they're working so hard, and they sort of questioning, is this what life is about? And do I want to change? What do I want? What do I really want for myself? Not for everyone else around me, for myself, and gain clarity on that. So the whole focus on the personal development aspect is gaining clarity about your own life and what you really want to do. But then there's lots of, like I say, adventure and nice food.
Fantastic. Just to reiterate, what's your website called, where we can go and see all this information?
It's www.elevatehorizons.com.
Elevatehorizons.com. Thank you, Anita. That's I love that. I didn't even know that there was different types of kinesiology. I'm so glad that you mentioned that. But Björn, tell us in terms of anything coming up, what's happening in the we are fast running out of time, and I must tell you, Linda's been giving you lots of praise here in the chat box as well.
Thanks, Linda.
Björn, tell us what's coming up for the rest of the year, and you've got something special, right? Oh, you want what? Okay, it's going away. We'll just wait while Björn goes somewhere. And look, yes.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. La, 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 la. Kevin, next week we have our Christmas holiday giveaway show. I'm so excited. It's going to be incredible. Kevin, you can be so excited. Yes.
Yes. No,
yes. There we go. And so we're going to be giving lots of gifts away. We're going to have lots of people on the show, and I'm really excited. I think it's a great opportunity just to really showcase local business, supporting local business. You know, I always say it's great that we go into the stores and we like buy our kids and our families and our friends and our nieces, our nephews and our dogs and our cats and our birds and our pigeons and our snakes gifts, but let's buy it from local. I think that'd be absolutely incredible. You know, like that whole slogan, like, proudly South African. Now is the time. Now is the time where we support local businesses. You know, so I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. And this is also going to be our kind of ending our year in a big, I want to say a high, I suppose, because after that, we're going to take a nice little break. And Kevin, you said you can sleep for a month, and I'm not. And I'll sleep in the evening, kind of. I'm going to be taking a break, and so I'm just excited. And then obviously next year, we're going to kick off with a bang. We can't say who yet, but it's going to be big. That's all we know.
Quite exciting.
And
So fantastic. So next week is a Christmas giveaway, Lunchtime Marketing Show. So if you are going to join us, guys, please tune in. We're going to give away a whole bunch of free stuff. And
otherwise, if they don't join us, Kevin, then we'll just have to take it. We'll be forced.
Yeah, we'll just
can I give something away?
Yes, you can absolutely.
I'll do that. I'll plan something for next week for you guys.
Yes, wonderful.
I'm giving away, Björn's giving away, Anita's giving away, and there's a whole bunch of people with. I'm going to ask Linda to give us something away as well.
Yes, Linda, give something away. Let's everything give. No, I was like, just give everything away. I'm like, not doing that.
Everything.
My bubbles. I'm not giving that away. I'm holding on.
Absolutely. So in the spirit of festive season, I think it's a wonderful way to end the year. But if we want to just inspire people, as one of our last conversations, guys, Anita, what would you say and share to people out there, and just give them a word of inspiration, and what would that be?
It's something I live by. You never fail until you give up. So don't give up, keep going, and get help, get support. There's so many people out here, out in the world to help. We're all here to help each other. So get help, get support, don't give up, and keep going.
Absolutely. Björn, what would you say? Last word of advice that you want to give and join and share and encourage?
Only one word, or can I have a phrase?
Well, I mean, you can have a phrase.
A word. I was like, I'll end it like this, Kev, is that, and it's something that I also live by. The reality is there are things we can control and there's things we can't. And the things you can control, make sure that you control them well, that you get great results, not that people run because you're held on so tightly. And the things that you can't control, just laugh. Just laugh. Like you can't control it. Just laugh. Laugh, cry, have wine, laugh cold. Just, that's it. Because otherwise it just makes you sick. So that's things you can control it well, that makes people run towards you, not away. And you, Kevin, give us your inspiration for the end of this show.
I think what stands out for me, and it's a theme on through all the coaching that I ever do, is love yourself enough to give yourself the chance. And most people tend to not do that. So just love yourself enough to give yourself the chance, because when you do that, you'll be surprised at how much you can achieve from it. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for Lunchtime Marketing. Anita, Jack, thank you for joining us. Guys, all the details will be in on YouTube, on all the social media. So if you want to hit up and chat to Anita, please go and check out the links. And then we'll see you next week for the Christmas giveaway. Yay!
Great. Thanks, guys.
Have a good week. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.